Good day, friends! Today, I will be reflecting on two critically acclaimed literary pieces from Africa. The Telephone Conversation by Wole Soyinka and Once Upon a Time by Nadine Gordimer. These two pieces played a great part in inspiring the Africans to break through the unjustifiable racism that they had been experiencing. The Telephone Conversation is a poem by the infamous Wole Soyinka, the first Black African to be awarded a Nobel Prize for Literature. The poem became a unique response to the discrimination towards Africans with its satiristic approach. Racism is presented on multiple levels in this poem. However, generally speaking, it was presented by the author through the confession done by the protagonist of the poem. The conversation appeared to be harmless. He was just a man looking for a place to rent. He found a potential place with a reasonable price, and the landlady did not even live in a place. However, there is just one problem. He is African. He referred to this as a confession, as if it was something the landlady should be warned of, afraid that he might waste a journey coming to the place, only to be turned down because of his color. Although it was clear that the speaker was not ashamed of his race, not at all, he was aware of the societal views, however, towards colored people like him. And what I liked the most about the protagonist, as mentioned, is his satirical approach. He cleverly mocked the landlady's prejudices, to the point where he has probably made her question her own perspective of black men. This surely placed the landlady in a tight spot. Another promising work of art with racism as a theme is Nadine Gordimer's Once Upon a Time. This story offers us the daunting nature of fear and racism in our societies. Through her intricate depiction of a family's submission to paranoia, Gordimer sends us a message of how fear and prejudice fuel society's division, ultimately leading to self-destruction. Come to think of it, did we exclude them because they are different? Or are they different because we excluded them? The story suggests that the fear of the other, or those perceived as different, can drive individuals to perform extreme measures in the name of falsely perceived safety. This fear often stems from wrong perceptions, unreasonable prejudices, just because of color, and even untimely norms. Gordimer also emphasized the ignorance that lies behind such necessary measures, as shown by the family's exaggerated effort to protect themselves against a threat that has not even reached them yet. Ultimately, Gordimer's story serves as a powerful eye-opener of the destructive consequences of fear and racism when prioritized over compassion and relationships, urging us readers to challenge prejudices of our own and of our society, to foster understanding, and to strive for a society that is compassionate and inclusive. African literature is rich, promising, and worth indulging into. Although I'm not a heavy reader myself, I found the stories to be really entertaining, yet also filled with vital values in dealing with bias and prejudice. This lesson made me appreciate African literature like I've never been before. It opened my eyes to the sad truth that colored people have to deal with in a society that labels them through their colors, limiting them of what they can be. On the brighter side, this lesson taught me how creative and strong African authors are by turning such painful scars into such creative masterpieces. Such an ironic world we're living in, don't you think? Raising brows on harmless colored people and yet blindly welcoming white foreigners into our homes. Speaking of irony, I am reminded of Swami Vivekananda, who once said, "The misery that I am suffering is of my own doing, and the very thing proves that it will have to be undone by me alone." Life's irony often comes deep. We love those who do not love us. How it takes sadness to know happiness. And tragically in this story, the family's protective fence caused their child's demise. This story taught me how some of our sufferings are caused by our own doings. It is in stories like these that I realize how important it is to acknowledge risks to learn how to be safe. That maybe it is because we protect ourselves too much from being hurt that we end up hurting ourselves even more in the end. Thank you, and I hope you learned quite a few pointers from that.